Hello and welcome to another Python tutorial. My name is Tom with LearnPythonTutorial.com, and in today's tutorial we are going to copy some list. Now, why is copying list important? Well, if we create a list and then we want to modify it, but we want to keep the original, we probably want to copy it so we're not messing with our original list. Now, the copy method gives us that ability to do that. So, some people get confused with reassigning and stuff like that, so I'm going to show you how to properly do this. And I'm going to explain it, and we're going to get really deep into this real quick. A is equal to, so we're going to create a list, 1, 2, and 3. Alright? So we create a list here. Now, let's get the ID of this list to prove it's an object. So here's our ID for our object. And it's the ID of this right here. This is our object, all right? And this is just a variable. And this is the ID of that object, all right? So we got this. Now, some people think we can just go B is equal to A, all right? To make a copy of it. Sure, if you think about it, that might make sense. But that's not how it works. So if I call B, I'm going to get the 1, 2, 3. Awesome, I made a copy of it. No, I really didn't, because what I'm doing here is I'm just actually referencing the same object. So if I do ID B, hit return, you can see these two numbers right here match up. Alright? And that's not good. Because if I went in and said, alright, B append 4, alright, and I call B, I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. If I call A, I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. But I didn't want to change A. Damn, I didn't want to change A. So, that's not going to work for us, okay? So there's another way to do it. We can use the copy method. And the copy method allows us to copy the original up here and spit it and move it over while we're copying it and creating a new object. It's just taking a mask of this, create a new object so we can modify it. So let's clear our screen and we're going to start all over again. A is equal to 1, 2, and 3. We'll call A. We got 1, 2, 3, and we'll do ID A so we know what the ID is. Alright. Now what I'm going to do is B is equal to A.copy. Hit return. And now I'm going to call B. Oh, it looks the same. Okay. Now I'm going to call the ID on B. And if you can notice this, they are different. Alright. That ends in 6.0. This ends in 4.4. So they are different objects now. So now if I go and do B.append 4, hit return, call B, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, call A, I got 1, 2, 3. Awesome, we fixed that problem. But understanding how this works is very important. Understanding variables and how objects work is very important. If you haven't watched our video on variables and objects, it's way back in the beginning. I don't even know what it's called. Understanding variables or something like that. I suggest you watch that, because you need to have a good understanding of what's going on here, because you could really screw up your program. If you had a list full of tons of data, which almost every program does, we have tons of data in the list, and if we want to modify that list for that program's run that day, we could really screw up the default settings of our website, our program. I said website because I was staring at my other screen. So we can screw up our program. But by copying our list and modifying it outside the original list, gives us more flexibility, security, and keeps from us screwing things up. And I'm pretty good at screwing things up. So you can tell I figured out how this works, because I'm an idiot sometimes and I like to screw things up. So let's just go through this one more time so you understand this. We're going to do A is equal to 1, 2, and 3. And that's our list. We call A. We get 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do an ID of A. Alright. And now we got this ID for our object right here. These two go hand in hand right here, right? And that's how it identifies it. All A does is points to that object. Says, hey, when you call me, I'm going to return this. My job and only job is when you call me, I'm going to go over and get this guy and put it on the screen for you. Just like right here, right? That's all A does. Now, if I do B is equal to A, hit return, and I call B, now B is doing the same exact thing as A. It's saying, hey, look, I'm over here hanging out with this object too. When you call my name, I'm going to bring this object over and introduce you to him. But it's the same object. So you got A and B hanging out over on the other side of the street with 1, 2, 3 in a list, all right? And they're just going to bring him over and introduce you to him when you call them over. Well, what happens if we want to use 1, 2, 3 and modify it, but we want 1, 2, and 3 to stay on the other side of the street at all times and don't come over and hang out with us? Well, we have to use copy. Alright, so just to prove that B is the same as A right now, currently, we do ID and we get the ID. And you can see they're referencing the same exact object. Alright, so how do we copy this list here and not modify the original? Well, we do B is equal to A.copy. Now, copy takes no arguments. So you just got to remember copy, all right? Hit return, call B, and now we got 1, 2, 3. All right, so that looks the same as up here, but technically it's not, because now B left the other side of the street and is now on our side of the street with this 1, 2, and 3, hanging out with this 1, 2, and 3, and A is still on the other side of the street hanging out with this 1, 2, and 3. So let's take a look at this. We'll do ID A, and then we'll do ID B. Now you can see they're hanging out with two different list objects. Alright, so they're referencing two different list objects. So now we can go ahead and change B by B append for, hit return, call B, now 1, 2, 3, and 4 show up on our screen. I'm just going to adjust my screen size here. And now we call A, and A stays on the other side of the street with 1, 2, and 3. So that is copy, and that's when we would use copy, and that's how copy works. If you have any questions, please leave a comment on YouTube or on our website at learnpythontutorial.com. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to like the video. I will see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day.